On June 12th, a single letter from the US government took the best AI model offline for everybody on the planet. Which means the best AI that you have can disappear just like that without anything you can do. So this video is to help you understand how to run local models so that nobody can switch them off. I'll show you which models are out there, which ones your machine can actually run, the few terms you need to understand, and how to put it to work. I think this was a wake-up call for many people, the fact that this AI model, Fable 5, can be turned on just like that for everybody and gated by geography or citizenship. So you have to now understand that when you are paying for an AI model, you're not actually buying it, you're renting it. And the landlord just proved that he can switch off the locks while you sleep. So a local model on your computer isn't a privacy hobby anymore, it's an insurance. Now a lot of you are now thinking, oh Alex, you're wrong. The free stuff I run at home can't actually do the work that I need to do, it's so bad. So let me address that right away. So for most work that you do, like drafting an email, summarizing a memo, doing first pass at some analysis, writing emails, and other things, the 3 model on your local laptop is more than capable enough. Let's look at this split. Everything on the left, local handles fine today. The right is everything you keep paying for. For many people, most of their work lives on the left. Not everyone is an advanced builder or runs long horizon agents and complex deep research. Yes, you do still need frontier AI for things like advanced coding, deep research, long horizon work, for it to stay for hours and hours and work properly. For that, the frontier still wins. But let's remind ourselves where we were a year ago. Opus 4 and Sonnet 4 came out at the end of May 2025. Nobody used them for serious agentic coding. Nobody put them to do something without supervision. Everybody was just using them for small snippets of code that you would have to review and then update. Local models are already better than that today. I would say they're just about 3 to 6 months behind the frontier now. So let's quickly take a look at how frontier models have evolved versus local models so far. They had a huge gap about a year ago, and just a few percentage points now. Does that mean they're almost equal? No. Do they do benchmarking? Probably yes, but even if you subtract a few percentage points from them, they're still better than Sonnet 4.5 and are at the level of Opus 4.6 roughly, I would say. So if we specifically look at the everyday work, the open models have gotten so good, so this gap doesn't really matter anymore. The frontier still leads at the best stuff, but your local models will be more than good enough for regular work. So no more talking about the why. We'll figure out which models exist, what your computer can run, and go through click by click on how to set it all up. Let's go. First thing to clear up is most people think that running local AI means running it in a terminal as a developer, so it's not for me. So the options on how to run local AI is much easier than you think. 5 names you'll bump into. Llama is the command line one. So that's the black screen you were picturing, and yeah, it's more of a developer tool. Llama CPP is the engine that powers most of the others, you never touch it directly. MLX is Apple's Fastlane for Mac chips. Jan is a simple clicky app. And LM Studio that we're using is the easiest for basically everybody. No command line ever, similar to a ChatGPT app. And installing it's generally 3 clicks. Go to the website, download it, and install it. That's it. It's a regular app. Now we'll figure out how to choose a model. So who actually makes these models? The field is crowded and moves very fast. So let's break it down. Here's a snapshot out of today. DeepSeek, the Chinese lab that kicked all of this off, has the top open coding scores. Qwen from Alibaba with small versions that run beautifully on the laptop. Llama from Meta. GPT OSS, OpenAI put out the open source one. You've got Minimax, GLM, as well as Kimi that are kind of medium or bigger in size and very capable. And you have Gemma from Google. I might have missed a few, but these are the key ones that you definitely should know about. So these numbers are self-reported. But if you look at the independent benchmarks, like for example, artificial analysis here, you can see that Kimi, Minimax, Qwen are getting close to 60 on this benchmark, and 60 is GPT 5.5 extra high. There are more benchmarks like this that you can check out, but still that proves the point. These models are getting close enough to the frontier models to matter, and for me they do most of the regular work that I need. Another thing to keep in mind is that two other things matter: how big this model is and how recent it is. This field moves so fast that the model that was good a month ago can be replaced by another provider releasing a better model today. So I'm not telling you to memorize these numbers or pick a provider and stick to it. I'm teaching you how to read this local AI menu yourself, so you can choose which capabilities you want and which one can fit on your computer. More on that in a second. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that subscribe button. That will help out the channel a lot. Alright, let's take a look at the list of models in the LAMP Studio. This is where it all falls apart for most people. You go to download a model and instead of a clean list, you get this. A wall of names that looks like you walked across a keyboard. K4KM, A3B, IQ triple excess, .GGUF. This is where most people give up right away. So let me decode this one for you fast. There are basically 5 things hiding in this mess, and I'm gonna break them down for you so that this alien language turns into English for you. Here we go. 1. Parameters, that B number. 7B, 40B, 70B, 700B. That's billions of parameters. And a parameter is just one of the tiny dials the model set for itself when it was learning. So the more billions it has, the bigger the model is. Easiest way to picture it, it's the size of the model's brain. More parameters generally means it's smarter, but also it's a bigger file and needs more memory to run. So a 7 billion one is a small one and can fit almost anywhere. A 70 billion one is sharper but heavier and needs a bigger machine. That's why the B number is the first thing that you read. It will tell you roughly how capable the model is, although capability is not determined fully by size, but it will mostly tell you if it can run on your machine. 2. Quantization. That's the Q number. All it means is how squished down the model is, like turning a giant studio recording into an MP3. So it's a smaller model that runs on your laptop and basically almost as capable as at full size. What's a full size? Full size is 16. It's the base model. So the magic rule of the thumb is Q4 or higher is what you should pick because it only loses roughly 2% of the capability. Everything below that is not worth trying if you have a smaller model, but that you can run on Q4 or higher. But that all depends on the benchmarks, so typically you would cross-compare them. 3. GGUF. It's an easy one. It's just a file format that they use, like MP3. If you see GGUF, it just means that it will run in your LAMP Studio. 4. Mixture of experts. This A3B thing. A big model now is more like a team of specialists rather than one giant brain. You ask it something, it wakes up a few specialists that matter, and the rest are asleep. So a model that's enormous on paper still runs in your machine and can do it faster. That doesn't mean though that you need less memory for it. It just runs more efficiently and faster. Quick example here. So if you look at Quen in LM Studio, it comes as a 27 billion dense model, dense meaning all of them are active, and you have 35 billion A3B, where only about 3 billion fire at the same time. A3B isn't smaller, but it runs faster. And 5, sometimes you will see something like Q4KM. It's easy. So Q4 is a compressed version, which we already talked about. K just means that it uses the smartest compression method, which is almost on everything now. And M is the size, so small, medium, large size of this model. So Q4KM basically means quantized at 4, smart method, medium, basically the balanced one. Alright, now that you can read the names, last piece is matching them to your computer so that you don't download something you cannot run. And deciding factor is just one thing: memory, your RAM. Not your processor, not your graphics card, just how much memory your computer has. So here's the map. A 7 or 8 billion model, your everyday workhorse, runs comfortably on 16 gigs of RAM, which is most laptops for the last few years. A 14 wants a 16 or 32. The 64 gig and up models are a different tier. And if you're on a Mac, Apple's chips share one big pool of memory across the whole machine instead of walling it off bit by bit like graphics card on a PC. So that's the reason Mac kind of punches above its price. But don't overthink any of this. LAMP Studio does all of this for you. The point is you can look at the model and size and decide which one is yours. So let's go back into LAMP Studio. See this? It reads your memory and labels each one. This one fits, this one stretch, this one won't. Look for the recommended badge, grab a version of something on the green list and download it. One thing to note, that fits doesn't actually mean it will run well. It can fit and run, but it can be extremely frustratingly slow. So stay near the recommended ones, at least as a start. After you load it, you'll type in the questions, same as you would in ChatGPT. So it will think about it, and here's the answer, the full thing. Even if you turn off the internet, it will still work. Wait, that's it? Yeah, that's it. It's pretty easy. Okay, so far it probably looks like you build a private checkbox and you will say, oh, but my app with Claude is so much nicer. It connects to everything. Fair. LM Studio is a great place to run a model, but it's not the best place to work in. So I don't work in it. You point the better tools at the model LM Studio is running. You can open something nicer for it to live in, for example, Hermes Agent, Odysseus from PewDiePie, or OpenClaw, or any other app that you can connect local models to that feels good enough for you. So it uses the brain of the model, but the harness is this app. Then you can also connect other tools like Gmail, Slack, Granola to make this thing much more useful and have the same context as you. And lastly, if you set it up in a specific folder, it can operate with your files on your computer, which makes it 100 times more useful, especially if you never tried it before and you always use ChatGPT or Claude as a chatbot and dragged files in and files out. The switch from working in a chat box to a model working within a folder on your files and having connections to your tools is like a jump from 1 to 10. Now let's talk about the ceiling. A lot of people want to only run the best models there are. So you can run an open source model that doesn't fit on your machine through two options. Door one, there are other services that you can rent computers on. So you borrow somebody else's beefy machine and run AI on it. So option two is use a hosted version for a provider like OpenRouter. Think of it as one account that has access to all of the models without you having to sign up to each specific one. So you own the small model on your laptop, but you can still run a giant one if you want. So here's your homework for this week. Install LM Studio. Pick a model that fits on your computer and run it through stuff that you know that you do on day to day, through summarizing emails or writing them, summarizing documents, working on basic analysis. So use local for everyday work, and you can still use Frontier for those advanced tasks that you want to. And after a week we just had where government shot off the best AI model with just one letter, having local AI is not a hobby anymore, it's an insurance policy. It's the one AI that nobody, no government, no company can switch off for you. Built, it's yours, and if you have a laptop, it goes everywhere you go. Which leaves one question that people are still asking, and I'll cover it in the next video. We'll talk about what are these labs, what do I need to know about them, and why do most of the open source models keep coming out of one country. So if that sounds interesting, consider subscribing and liking this video, and I'll see you in the next one.